else to notice me. I thought, what the hell am I doing here? Who is this sitting here quiet and alone? Moving on through time. The body moving, the self somewhere else. I finished the coffee and went in to pay. Simple. Why bother to mention paying? Except, you see, I couldn't find the right money in my purse. I knew it was there, that I had enough, but I couldn't make out £1.25. I couldn't work it out. So, panicking, I took out a £10 note instead. Then the trembling started, and the vague feeling of foreboding overcame me again, so I sat in the car and lit another cigarette and took deep breaths and all that stuff, and wanted to go home, to my childhood home. I wanted my father. Wanted my father. Ever heard of a grown woman saying that? Anyway, I just sat there until the panic passed well enough for me to get on my way. I missed the turning to the monastery, going up and down the winding lane several times. I had expected to see a large name announcing the place, but in fact there was simply a small metal sign swinging from a post, almost hidden by the branches of an overhanging tree. In faded white paint it read, Burnham Abbey, with an arrow underneath pointing towards a narrow driveway. I turned the car into the unmade track, dark in the shadows of heavy-leafed maple trees. I came across the abbey suddenly. It stood in sunshine, long and white and deserted. The car was throbbing intrusively in the stillness, seemed so loud. I had the urge to just stop and walk, but I shouted at myself. I do shout out loud sometimes. Then I shouted, "Get a bloody grip, you stupid cow! There's nothing to be anxious about." And so I drove up to the flagged area outside the front door. It was very quiet once I had turned off the engine. Not a sound. No one about. I wasn't sure whether to take my stuff out of the car or to knock first, just to make sure they really were expecting me. Then I heard a cuckoo echoing from a distance, a hollow reed, bell-like and persistent, and that lovely sound carried with it memories of sun blowing through blue cotton curtains in that other life, when the cuckoo call symbolised long, hot summer days. We had followed the call once, me and the children, and saw the cuckoo high in the elm tree the other side of the river. I opened the boot and pulled out my hold-all and a carrier bag filled with my sketch pads, paints and brushes, because I had imagined gardens like French chateau gardens, and thought I would be able to find beautiful and secluded spots where I could paint, but I left the easel behind because I thought it might all seem a bit much. I shoved my battered straw hat onto the back of my head. You could tell the place was badly run down, for the huge front door, which must have been magnificent once, was covered in feathered, flaking green paint, and the doorknob was black with tarnish. I knew they were closing down soon, relocating to join another monastery in Wiltshire somewhere, yet were still taking visitors. Or so I thought. It would be like a hotel with a few prayers now and then. People would be charming and friendly, and I would possibly make new friends. That's what I thought. My hands full, I managed to push the bell with my chin, but nobody answered. I felt so alone, helpless, unsure what to do. In the end, I put down my stuff and opened the door. Obviously, like churches, the doors remained unlocked during the day. I pushed my way in and piled my luggage against a wall, my hat on top, and stood in the shadows by the door. In the great square hall with its wooden floors and dust-covered table, the smell caught me by surprise, reminding me of school dinners, that sickening, tepid smell of boiled fish. I was shocked. There were 2 doors, one either side of the hall, both shut, but wherever it was coming from, the smell of cooking was heavy in the air. Yet opposite me, French windows opened onto lawns, yellow in the sunlight, where surely the air would be fresh. On the right was the long, dusty table with books on it and a brass bell, and there I saw a faded notice propped against the bell, which read, "Please ring." I couldn't bring myself to ring the bell immediately, the sound shocking the silence, so I stood for a while looking out of the windows at the lawns that sloped up and away from the house and at the trees surrounding the lawns, beech, oak and blue.